Hello, this is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mobile Weekly / Mobile Q&A. We go over all latest news that happened during the week of mobile and tech and answer your questions live. If you have any question you want to ask, just ask it in the comment section down below and I will answer it before the end of the show. Alright guys, we have had a couple of videos go up over the past week. If you haven't checked them out, you probably should. It is the projector video as well as the smart home video. Two videos that did take some time to record, but we got them done this past week. We do have a couple of others coming out this week, including how to save hundreds of dollars on Prime Day, how to make sure that you actually get the best not only deals for Prime Day, but also we try to do a live stream. We'll see the details about it. It's still up in the air right now. But also we have the TCL 5G stylus, a surprising mid-range phone that I was really impressed with. And then also we have the Hori headphones and the Shure headphones. All those videos coming this week. So lots of fun stuff coming for sure. Alright guys, but without further ado, let's get to the news. And then if you guys have any questions, again, leave them in the comment section down below and I'll answer them before the end of the show. So the first big news topic of today definitely has to be the Samsung Galaxy 5. So the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5 has been confirmed by Samsung on some of their overseas websites, Belgium, Denmark, and Norway namely. We saw it basically leak that they will have 3 versions. So basically Samsung confirmed that there will be 3 different models and 3 different sizes. So we have a 40mm and a 44mm Galaxy Watch 5. And then we have the Galaxy Watch 5 Pro, which is going to be the 45mm. Now in this, there is no classic version, according to all current sources. There is no classic version. And there isn't also a smaller version of the Pro. If you do want to get the Pro model, it is only going to be the 45mm version for that model. But the other thing is that, you know, we do have images of them. So this is the first one, the Galaxy Watch 5, just the standard smaller size one. And then we have the Galaxy 5 Pro. Now you can see that this one has the same kind of look as the Galaxy Watch, I forgot which one was the active one. I think that was Galaxy Watch 3 or Galaxy Watch 2, I think was the active one. And the Galaxy Watch 4 was a mixture. But you also have this one, which is a little bit different looking. The Pro, I can't tell if that's a ring on it. I don't believe it is, just because of how it stays inside. But it's curious. I do not see why Samsung would let go of probably their best feature, which is just the rotating bezel. It makes it so easy to move through all of your watch needs. So I'm just surprised if that's the case, that if Samsung truly is getting rid of that. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it goes, but overall I'm not sure how I feel about this watch quite yet. I know the black definitely looks better than this gray color for sure. The black looks sleeker. I love the red accent as well, but very curious to see what you guys think of these designs. Let me know in the comment section, do you plan on getting Galaxy Watch 5 or Galaxy Watch 5 Pro? And if so, on the Galaxy Watch 5, would you get the smaller 40mm or the bigger 44mm? Let me know. I would go for the 5 Pro, which is a 45mm, which I believe is the same size or 1mm size smaller than this one. I forget if this one was a 45 or 46 on the Galaxy Watch 4 Classic. So yeah. And then it looks like that all iPhones could raise a price increase coming this time around. So it's curious to see how this will happen. Of course, this is being blamed on the chip shortage yet again. So, you know, we keep hearing that, yes, there is chip shortage. It hasn't really affected Apple as much, but we could see it affected this time around. Namely that we could be going from a starting price of $7.99 all the way to $8.99. So that would kind of be hard to see. I mean, I think 799 was such a good price when both Samsung and Apple went down to that price point for starting, because they had gone up and they went back down to it. Because 899 was a little bit of a starting price point for a little while. So the fact that they went back down to 799, I thought was good. I think Samsung even went to 749, and then other models competed at that price range. It going to that high of a price range is a little concerning. I'm curious to see how it'll do, especially now that there is no mini. But Samsung does always keep their blasters model in availability. So you're going to see iPhone 13s possibly sell very well at a lower tier, them being $699 typically when they drop down in price, so $100 less. So I think if it's $699 and $899, I think you're going to see a lot more iPhone 13 sales than you will iPhone 14 sales. And this does also coincide with Apple's current strategy, which is that they are ordering currently more Pro models than they are ordering current standard models, because they do believe that the Pro models will sell more because they are more worth it, essentially more better upgrades that we're going to see compared to the 14 to the 13 models. And BOE, so for those of you who don't know, BOE kind of had a little bit of a scandal recently that basically they were very upset. Apple was very upset with them because they didn't meet the standards that were set by them, and a couple of other things that the company's gone through. But sure enough, the idea is that they are now going to order a lot less panels in comparison to what they would have ordered otherwise. So they were hoping to supply like 40 million, 30 million models, but it looks like they're going to be far less, closer to 5 million at this point. So that's a huge cut. And it's basically because apparently BOE tried to hide it from Apple, and Apple was not having it. Apple was very upset by that. So yeah, it's quality control. It's making sure that it's the right level. And yeah, don't try to hide things from your if you're a supplier, don't try to hide things from the main company that gives you the most business, because man, going from 40 million units to 5 million units, that is so much of a loss of revenue that, I mean, it's probably going to cost them more money, way more money than it would have if they just would have done it right. So yeah. And then we have Pixel 6 issues. And it's curious because a lot of Pixel 6 people have been asked recently, would you continue on your Pixel 6? Or would you switch to an iPhone or a Samsung? And it really is showing that a lot of people have had issues with the Pixel 6 because according to this latest survey, it does look like 30 up to 36% of owners are considering leaving the company for another manufacturer. And that's pretty big because it means that a lot of people tried the Pixel 6. A lot of people tried to do it, tried to like, okay, fine, let's go away from the duopoly and let's not go with Samsung or iPhone, and let's go to another brand. And they gave Pixel a chance, but it didn't do as well as anyone would have hoped. Now, I always preface this with saying that I know that there's so many issues and so many bugs out there with this phone. I myself have been very lucky that I haven't really had any issues, and I have used it as a secondary phone since its launch. So the only thing I will say consistently, that it usually in hard to reach areas for the network, it doesn't have as strong of a 5G or an LTE signal as my Samsung S22 Ultra does. But other than that, I haven't had a lot of all these big issues. Like, I mean, and I'm talking with people that I'm very close with and everything like that. They've had issues. So these issues exist. They're out there. And there's so many places on Reddit where you can see all the different issues that people are having. I've been lucky enough that I haven't really had issues. Like maybe, like I said, a weaker Wi-Fi and 5G and LTE signals. But that's about it. So I've been fairly lucky on my Pixel experience. So I'm very curious to see where this will go in the next model and if there's less issues, because yeah, it's concerning if you spend that much money and you are getting issues and not getting updates to fix those issues, and also not cause other issues, because that's a very important factor as well, of course. But all right, guys, that was the news for today. Again, if you have any questions about the news or any comments or concerns or anything you want me to talk about, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will answer it before the end of the show. Yes. All right, guys, let's see what you guys have cooking up. I still use my Gear S3 Frontier, most durable watch overall. I do plan on upgrading to the Pro. A bezel would be perfect. A bezel would be perfect, but not a deal breaker. Totally understand. I will say too that the Gear S3 Frontier, if I'm not mistaken, was the best battery life. It was either that one or the original Galaxy Watch that were the best battery life ever on a smartwatch that had a full suite as dense as Tizen did. So yeah, it really was two really good watches. I think those were like peak Samsung watches. And then like this past year has been like, we got Google, but you know, not Google Assistant. That's supposed to be coming out this month, by the way. Google Assistant, full Google Assistant supposed to be coming out of the watch. You kind of have a lot of capabilities already with the OK thing. So yeah, you have that ability already to really launch it and do it and all that. But it's supposed to get in more capabilities by the end of this month. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Have you seen iOS 16 beta 3 lockdown mode, Apple Safeguard Extreme Hacking? No, I've not seen their new mode for it. I know of it and I've heard of it, but I've not experienced it myself. And yet I do not have an iPhone at this time. I will be getting the new iPhone, probably keep for 3 to 6 months and then get rid of it. But yeah, the whole idea behind it, it seems like Google Safe Mode. For those of you who don't know, Android has had a safe mode for many years. And what it does is it completely disables all third-party programs. So that you launch into a mode that no third-party program can work. Obviously, this came from original PCs, Windows, and Mac both have a safe mode as well. So this is standard. It's more so to me, these are still things that I always like, how did Apple never have anything like this? Now they say it's more extreme against, you know, anti phasing, publishing, all that kind of stuff, but we'll have to wait and see how much it really is, because yeah, it's a very interesting concept for them to just add now, but maybe they'll do it very well and maybe people will really like it. So we'll have to wait and see. I enjoy the show. Thank you, Howard. I appreciate you stopping by and chatting with us. And check out Ricky's smart home video tour for Newegg. Yeah, if you want to see how my new home is looking and a tour of all the smart home tech that I just put inside of it, go ahead and check out that video. It was the first video with actually my new backdrop, and it's not completely done yet, but in that video it really looks cool because I already have the light strip at the bottom to show off the lights, kind of like I do in the background of me right now. But what I had additional to that was two above lights that gave this beautiful two-tone look. So I am, yeah, very excited to kind of show that in my own videos. But yeah, the latest smart home videos are really good. I would say production-wise, the smart home video for Newegg is the best quality in terms of image quality and camera quality and cinematic shooting that I've ever been a part of. So I would definitely recommend checking that one out. It's really a good video. And then if you want to check out some automation stuff, obviously check out the video that I did on my channel. Quiet Storm has, luckily enough, put it in the links in the description down below. What's the best messaging app to send large videos, if any? Well, that depends on the phone you have and the phone someone else has, and what programs they use. Because, so for Apple, most people are fine with iMessage to iMessage, right? For Samsung, if you both have for Android, if you both have newer Android devices, then you just use RCS. RCS is ability to actually have high quality text messages with high quality video. So that is something new that all newer Android phones for the past 2 to 3 years, depending on how old or how many updates it's gotten, have had. So yeah, those have been around for a while, and both Samsung Messages and Google Messages support RCS, so you will have high quality messages. You just go into settings, make sure enhanced features are on either text messaging app, and that means RCS is on. So yeah, so that's the best texting app, I would say. However, though, there are certain programs that do have more unique abilities. For instance, Google on Android has Nearby Share. So if a person is nearby, you can quickly share large files like videos with them through Wi-Fi Direct. Apple has a similar thing called AirDrop. It's basically the same kind of thing where you can share things basically with a nearby product through Wi-Fi Direct. So yeah, those are just the basics, right? For someone nearby you. Then you also have one other thing, and that is you have the ability for certain programs like Samsung that does Samsung. Is it Link Share still, or is it something else? I think it's called something else now. Let's see. I think I want to say it's called something else, but yeah, it's still called Link Share. So Link Share, which is the idea behind it is you can share 4K footage, thousands of photos with anyone. It doesn't matter who they are, and that is something exclusive to Samsung. So Samsung has this ability to use Link Share, which is basically you tap Quick Share and then you say share in an app and it becomes Link Share. So the idea behind that is you can share 4K footage, no problem, great quality. I send myself footage that's uncompressed, basically. So it's really, really good quality. So that would be the main way I send large video files is through my Samsung. I have Link Share, and it's perfect quality videos every time. Is Google Meet and Duo merging into one app? Yes, they are. That should be before the end of the year fully, but they're supposed to kind of keep updating it throughout this summer. We don't know if it'll be finished by then, but yeah, it's coming. They're going to merge. Fusion Ha. What is the best music app? That really depends on the person. I absolutely love YouTube Music as a service and all that it gives me over all the other ones. So I think YouTube Music is a better value than Spotify, Apple Music, than what else is there? Tidal, any of them. And the reason is because with YouTube Music, you pay one price to have all the same streaming stuff that other music services offer. Great. Awesome. But they also give you YouTube Premium included in that. So it's two services for the one price. And YouTube Premium gives you the ability to download videos offline. So you do not have internet. You can watch those videos. An amazing feature that I use pretty much every single day of my life. So yeah, that is one. You also just have the ability to never view ads again. So no ads at all on YouTube. You never get an ad on YouTube, and that's great. So yeah, those are the kind of things of really why you would want to see that kind of stuff. So let me know what music app you're using, but for having a music service that's basically the same exact thing as Spotify and Apple Music, but you also get no ads on YouTube, and you also get the ability to save 1080p videos offline from YouTube. That is really awesome. So yeah, that would definitely be the one I would say. I'm fascinated by the ability to use a Raspberry Pi with all that automation. That sounds so interesting idea. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a more in-depth video because I am okay with the Home Assistant app, which is what uses the Raspberry Pi. But I feel like I would have to, brush up and get more familiar with it than I currently am at this state. So yeah, I would say it needs some more practice before I do that video. But if people are interested, it sounds like a good idea for sure for another video. Recently purchased a really nice theme from Galaxy Store. Why is it that it can only be applied with dark mode off, but good luck theme work in dark mode? So yeah, it depends on the theme and it depends on what the manufacturer of that theme, so the maker of the theme, what they made it work with. So they might only have a light version and they didn't create a dark version. Therefore, you can't really use that theme. Now, Good Luck is more experimental, so if Theme Park allows you to kind of put it there, it's because it just has more ability than the standard phone does out of the box. So yeah, those are my thoughts on why it would be, but not exactly knowing, obviously, this exact situation that the creator of the theme did. Oh, Fusion. Also, nice Gohan hair, Ricky Bang. Thank you, thank you. Yes, I tried to do the Gohan one bang right there. Bam. Just so much Gohan, so little time. But yeah. Are you gonna do another Ultra Phone tablet video? Oh, you mean like on the Samsung Ultra S22 or the Tab S8 Ultra? Is that what you mean? I don't plan on doing any video specifically on those at the moment, just because I tried to cover all of those before the big move, and I haven't done anything on those products since. So yeah, as of right now, no, but those are the reasons why I would say so. Um, Sixth grade student, middle schooler, I use Spotify. And I totally understand that Spotify is, the main appeal to most people. It's the one most people know, and it does still have the most people streaming music on Spotify than any other service. Um, for me, and maybe again, I don't probably listen to as much current right away music as a lot of people. So that might be why some of Spotify's exclusives or titles exclusives or Apple Music exclusives, anytime that I've wanted a song, it is on all of the platforms. So for instance, like when my wife tells me, oh, Taylor Swift dropped a new album, I'm like, oh, cool, like, I'll check it out, and I'll be able to see it's there on day one. So I don't know. I'm sure there are exclusive artists that, Tidal, Spotify, and Apple Music do have, or maybe it's like a certain period where they're exclusive to those manufacturers. But at least from what I've seen, I have not had any issues with any music that I've ever wanted or needed to play. Like, it's been there on YouTube Music. So because of that, I would just never choose Spotify or any other service for that matter, because it's like I'm getting less then, right? Like, I want YouTube, I want, no ads on YouTube. I want to be able to save videos offline. Those are two things that I use every day on YouTube. Plus, I get to have all my music. And it's the same thing too for the family plans, right? For $14.99, I get to share that with 5 people. So that takes care of me, my wife, my daughter, and my son when he gets old enough to have his own account. All of those people are taken care of by one payment. None of us have YouTube ads. None of us have the needing to save. We all have the ability to save videos offline, and we all have really high quality music too. Because YouTube Music, it took a little while to transition everything, but it came from Google Play Music, which Google Play Music had one of the highest quality fidelity audio you could actually get online for a long time, until Tidal and other music services caught up. So Google has been at the forefront in terms of music quality for a long time, and I do appreciate that. All right, let's see if there's any other questions. Have you heard of online TV called H-Tech? Not to be confused with H2 Tech. Wayne, you might want to sue somebody. H-Tech, I haven't heard of it, no, but I have heard of H2 Tech, of course. My friend Wayne, who we had a fun time catching up on when we watched the movie Thor: Love and Thunder recently. I've heard that if someone from someone, but skeptical about it. So I've not heard from this thing at all. H-Tech. Um, Yeah, I feel like I would have to look more into it because like there's H Tech Engineering, H Tech a Spanish company, H Tech Corporation. Maybe this is it. Clean Internet, IT hosting. Yeah, at least it's not very easy to find. There's literally four different links at the top when searching H Tech, and none of them was there. So yeah. How was Thor? So Thor was a lot of jokes, but I really enjoyed it. I think Thor: Love and Thunder will be one I look back on, kind of like Thor Ragnarok, and be able to just like have a good time. Like I can watch this. I don't have to care about much. I can just watch it to watch it, and that's it. I thought they handled Jane Foster better than any other, Thor ever did. I thought their relationship actually was better. Like they had better chemistry. Like they were just having fun. You could tell compared to like way before when, in Thor 1 and 2, I thought they just had, very little chemistry in Thor 1, and in Thor 2 there was like no chemistry. So yeah, it's something that I'm very curious on how it would be, but moving forward, I did like it. However, though, I thought it was really cool, very simple and easy kind of movie, one that you would just have fun with, but definitely one that I would say like, okay, that's a really cool one for sure. I think it was the hosting variant. So I did now find it. It's you have to search H Tech TV. So it looks like it's an IPTV service. I mean, their website doesn't load. There is some issues with it for sure, just from a glance. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, I mean their website's not even working very well, so that already is kind of like a red flag to me. So if you were wondering, like, oh, well, I have some reserves about it, I completely agree with you right away because if a website isn't loading and not working properly, I have less faith in the company. Um, what music apps were out when you were in middle school? In middle school, I was during the time of Napster. If you've ever heard of that, that was the original MP3 download music. So that was the original, basically. So basically, it was from us going from physical media, CDs, basically, to now being able to download. See, now being able to download MP3s, put them on MP3 players, put them on what were called MP3 CDs, which were basically like data CDs that higher end CD players could actually play, but not all of them could. So, which, unlocked the CD player because, like, a basic CD only used to be able to contain like 13 to 20 songs. However, if you actually had the CD data version of it, you could have like 120 songs on there. So it was a lot more worth it, basically. So yeah, so that's the time I grew up in. Was Napster was the main program, and I had like more downloads than anyone in the Los Angeles area. And I got freaked out because it was illegal at the time. Of course, we weren't paying for this music. Um, when they were seriously like arresting people for being on there, and I was like, holy heck. And like, because you could like see your rankings and like how many songs you had downloaded compared to others in your area, and I was always number one. So yeah, it was a weird time for sure, but yeah, that's what I grew up with. I grew up with Napster. That was the first one. There was like all these other pretenders after Napster went away, Livewire, iMesh, and all these other ones. And there was torrents after that, and that was how we got all of our music. So that was all it. And then you had online services come after that, such as iTunes, Creative Music, Zune Music. You had all these different companies then basically selling you songs for 99 cents. I mainly used Amazon once it finally came up, but yeah, it was a lot of stuff for sure. Um, yeah, that's why I was skeptical about it. Ricky the Pirate. I don't know what you're talking about. I never would pirate. Pirate never are. Which map app do you think is better, Waze or Google Maps? Ooh, that is an interesting question. So I think Google Apps are because they're both Google Apps. No, but Google Maps or Waze. For me, there are just certain abilities like multi-point and all of these other things that were just available first on Google Maps that I liked better than Waze. And it was just so easy for me to use it. I do like what Waze offered in terms of, oh, hey, look, you can actually, get your destination switched right away, which Google frustratingly take forever to do. But overall, I still use Google Maps, but I will not say it's particularly better. I just think it's a more of a force of habit kind of thing. And like links work perfectly with it. Everything, it just seems to be much better for using the basic stuff that you need to get. Um, let's see. Uh, I was on Napster all the time. Do you think torrenting is popular as it once was? Kazaa, that was another one too. It was LimeWire, Kazaa, and iMesh. Those were the three alternatives once Napster went away. But they went to the next level. Like that was so Napster was downloading music. That was pirating music essentially. But then there was all these services that went way further. You could pirate movies. You could, do all of these things that was just like, it was the digital age. When everything started going digital, it was a way of basically like no one could control it or regulate it. It took companies years to be able to do it. So yeah, so it was like the what they call the Wild Wild West, right? Where basically it was chaos because there was no law. That is what those programs and then to torrenting went. But is to answer your question, do you think torrenting is as popular as one was? No, there's another thing that came after torrenting. I can't think of its name at the moment, but it's the same kind of thing, peer-to-peer sharing, file sharing, that became very big. Overall, I think that it really is an interesting concept for the beginning of the internet. Really, the popularity of the internet was a lot of being able to download whatever you wanted, being able to own whatever you wanted. You didn't buy it, so that was the wrong thing. And sure enough, as soon as I was able to buy movies digitally, I did, and I still do. I know so many people use programs like Kodi, and a lot of others that have come out since that basically allow you to watch things that you don't pay for. And I have grown out of that. Once you become I'm older, I have a house, I have kids, it's a whole bunch of responsibilities now. But yeah, so it really was all these kind of things that basically changed a lot of ways that people did things. So as long as there's the internet, as long as there's stuff like that, people will always, get things that they don't pay for, kind of stuff. So it is what it is. But yeah. Um, I just finished some Fall Guys. I'm left. There you go. Hey man, Rudy, Fall Guys is definitely draining for sure. Do you use Google Messages? When someone texts an image to me, it comes in their number by the owner of their number, and my own number is like a new group chat, not part of the main conversation. Any thoughts? That is not what's supposed to happen. Go into your settings and see if you have. There is like a way to create multiple strands of talking to one person. I forget what it is off the top of my head. Let me just quickly look. So text message, go into settings, and is it chat features? No, chat features is how you turn on RCS though. Message organization, that's categories, advanced. There's group messaging, which, make sure that it's on the second one, which is not mass text, which is the one that will separate your group text messaging. So make sure you're not doing that. But yeah, those are the main things that I see that could be affecting it off the top of my head. Let's see. Napster tried to go legit, but it was killed by iTunes. So yeah, Napster had went through several phases, right? It had Napster went away. It got sued into oblivion. It tried to come back and be part of another company called Rhapsody, if I remember correctly, which was like a music player for your computer, and they also made MP3 players, competing with the iPod at the time. So they basically came back and tried to go legit, but it was just too late. There was so many better things out there at that point to get music, whether it be from Amazon, whether it be from Microsoft, Apple, all these different ways. Creative was how I got most of my music. So yeah, it was all these different companies that had a solution for it at that point. The other thing that Napster did is they came back, and it was like kind of like a they came back like I think another time after that, and again, but it just never got anywhere. um I hear there's a DVD Green Lantern coming out this month. Seeing your background, yes, brightest day, darkest night. Yeah. um Pirating actually helped small bands get exposure, for sure. It did. Not Don't ask Metallica about it though. But yeah, no. It was interesting because pirating definitely got smaller indie films and smaller music companies noticed that wouldn't have been noticed otherwise, because it was so much more accessible. Of course, what ended up becoming of that when Spotify took over, in this day and age, is artists get like no money from music anymore. So it's why, and it's completely saturated. Like, it's not that it's not an achievement, but there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that have gotten a million plays off of a song. That wasn't possible before unless they were rich, like unless they were making bank, unless they were making so much money. That is why it would come to that. But there was definitely a shift when Spotify basically got us to the point of like, oh, we could just pay one monthly fee and then stream whatever we want. And this subscription model, unfortunately, did kill pretty much the music industry. That anyone can get thousands and thousands of views, right, if it's a good music, but there's so many out there now that it's hard to find anyone that went all the way, that has superstardom, because it is just a saturated market now. So yeah. RICKY, the good role model guy. Yeah, I try to be more of a good role model now. Something when you change to a parent, hopefully, that you grow up a little bit more. You stop doing all the illegal things, or at least most of them. Ricky, do you remember MSN Messenger? Share your memories with us. Sure. This is like old 90s, early 2000 technology. So do I remember MSN Messenger and AOL Messenger, and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely, I do. So for me, I actually came from at 13. I got my first job. Actually, at 13, I got my first well-paid job. I was very lucky, and it really is something that I know, and it's why I want to help push my daughter into getting her first job early, because I was so lucky that I got to build concepts of work ethic and all of these different fundamentals at such an early age that I think I excelled at other companies, moving up to manager, store manager, district manager, and all these different positions, because I instilled a strong work ethic when I was very young. But the reason why I say it was tied to messengers was because I worked for an internet marketing company. This was early days of internet marketing. The owner of the company, it was a small business, like I think it was literally under 10 employees the entire time. It was called Talk Me Up. And this company essentially helped artists as they were getting bigger. And also, I was a spammer. I would go, this was before robots were really, mainstream. So I would literally have a script, and I would go into chat rooms and let people know about things. So yeah, it's kind of like, so what I did was I basically would go into a room, a chat room for MSN Messenger, AIM Messenger, or all these other ones, and I would literally say like, oh my god, like, like say if it was a R&B thing, like, oh my god, and this was one of the artists we helped out, have you heard Monica's new album? It's so cool, it's so fire, whatever kind of stuff. And I would say stuff like that. Or guys, have you heard the new POD album? It is so cool, it's so amazing. And those were some of the artists that they represented at the time, and it was just really cool to just like see how things worked and everything like that. And it was so funny because, of course, everyone hates spammers. Everyone hates spammers, obviously, right? Everyone hates it. But it was so funny because, that was the first trolls and all this kind of stuff that were really in the main, that really started happening and occurring, right? Because people would just be mean and, say all this kind of stuff. I'm a 13-year-old kid, and people were saying F you, all these kind of horrible things and all that. And that was the first time when I was starting to type back, right? And they're like, oh my god, you have no life, like, screw you, dude, like, you have no life, you're probably in your mom's basement or what, all this kind of typical stuff, right? That has not changed. The insults have not changed in over like 20 years. But the reason why I thought it was so fascinating was because of the fact that I was just like, I have no life, I'm getting paid to be here. You're just here talking, trying to tell people ASL so that you hopefully get someone to talk to you. So that's how I was kind of like, dig back in. And I would literally post that and leave the chat. Like, I would post that and leave. Like, I'd be like, the ones who are really a-holes, like, I would have those private messages ready and just boom, 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 and then left. So I thought it was funny. I was just like, I never know what they said after because I was gone. But yeah, so it was kind of just interesting to see all that for sure. And by the way, for anyone that's young, ASL was like the way to talk to someone, and it's what you would do to find out about someone. So when you would go into a room, you would tell everyone your ASL, which is age, sex, and location. Now, you don't obviously say like there's so many cities in Los Angeles, right? I would say Los Angeles. You don't say like, oh, Venice, Santa Monica, Van Nuys, Burbank. You don't say the specific city, but you say the big city, right? So those were the kind of things that like people would go in. So you'd say like your age. So I would literally be like 13, male, Los Angeles. So yeah, it was so interesting, the chat days for sure. But that is also where I learned to talk to girls, because I could not talk to girls. I was very shy and everything like that in person. But you know, you see movies, you see how guys talk to girls there, right? So I would just try things in a chat because it was just like whatever. It was just like, hey, you know, how are you doing? And I would just learn how to talk to girls, and that was it, chat rooms for me grew my social skills tremendously. I felt like I felt a lot more comfortable, and I knew that I was funnier than like, you know, I thought like I thought I was like very awkward, but I learned I could open up very easily. So definitely helped with my social skills. It also helped obviously financially because I was a 13-year-old kid making like $400 every 2 weeks, which was really good money back then, right? And then I was also learning how to type. That was the precipice for me learning how to type was chat rooms. So I would just I got my QWERTY keyboard skills very down, and by the time that was in middle school, so by the time I went to high school, I was already a fast typer, getting into everything. So those are kind of things that like I look at my kids where like I'm like they need to learn certain things when it comes to computers very quickly, so that they are ahead of everything, just like I was lucky enough to look into and go through. So yeah. Let's see. Sorry, a whole bunch of questions loaded. Everybody drink. Let's see. Whoa, man. Sorry, there are a lot of things that just blew up while I was having that whole conversation. Fall Guys, it looks so cute, but it's the devil. That's not too far off. Ricky, is it the only big companies like Google, Microsoft that can make money from your data, or do smaller companies compete in this department? A lot of companies do this because there's a lot of different ways to use data. So first of all, I don't have to, you know, collect the data. I can just be a buyer of data. So I can be a small little company over here, and Google or one of the bigger companies like Facebook was definitely one of them that did this. Facebook has all this data. Little company over here. Hey, can I have that data? Okay, now I have that data. I'm a little company, but I have the data, and I'm selling it to advertisers now because I got all that data. So yes, there are a lot of small companies that do compete and want to get your data because they have connections to more of advertising than other companies do. So that is why the data is valuable even to a smaller company, because it can still, I mean, they're relatively going to be small, right? But if they make revenue of 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year just from collecting data that other people have gotten and selling it to advertisers, it's a great way. There's going to be 3. I heard that there's only going to be 2. Nope, there's going to be 3. It was confirmed on Samsung's international website. So, yep, 3. It might not be in every country, to be fair. The guy who owned Napster has 1% stake in Facebook, I believe. Yeah, that was in the social network. They did allude to that. The guy who created Napster basically helped Facebook financially in the early days, and for that reason, he got a good amount of money. Still to this day has stake in it, I believe, too. Ricky, would you invest in higher quality audio such as FLAC files, or would it stick to MP3 players more widely accepted? That's always the... It's how difficult, right? Are you okay with going through is the question there. And for me, I typically like convenience more. Perfect example. How many people buy a 4K Blu-ray? Almost no one, I'm assuming, right? Because it's harder to come by. It's a physical media that you have to insert into a device. It's way better quality, like way better quality. If you ever see a 4K Blu-ray at a Best Buy or something like that and just see the quality, it is way better than anything you stream. But what we stream is very easy. And not only that, but I can get it in more, like, I have to sit at a TV with a 4K Blu-ray player with the right kind of HDMI and everything to make sure I get that amazing quality. But I don't have to do that with 4K streaming. I can see it on my phone. I can see it on my tablet. I can see it on my laptop. I can see it anywhere. And I don't have to worry about having any kind of restrictions with that. So that is more easy. And it's widely accepted because of that, because it's a lot more easy. FLAC files, you know, it depends on where you're getting them from, how, you know, are, like, what player can play them. It's a whole process for FLAC files. I know, because I remember when certain headphones were getting this high fidelity in Bluetooth, and it was very hard to find, like, okay, well, I don't really hear a difference, and then I had to get FLAC files to really, like, oh, okay, this is way better. But to this day, I don't get FLAC files because it's not really that convenient. So for me, it's not worth it. I understand that the quality and the sound is so much better, so much more superior. But for a lot of people, it's just not worth it. Let's see. Did you ever make videos about HD radio? No. HD radio was kind of like a very, very quick thing. Like, I've never seen the value of HD radio because I never really played the radio much. So, because I came from Napster, right, and did streaming and all this stuff, I really didn't listen to the radio much anymore. Like, at that point, I was kind of gone from the radio. And what I would do is I would try to find either popular downloaded songs with Napster, or once it got to, you know, iMesh, Kazaa, and LimeWire, you could kind of basically just go on, like, Billboard Top 100s or things like that, and you can get every popular song. Oh, it totally overheated. Dang it. This is beginning to be a problem. All right, guys, you can hear me. It will take a second for me to fix this. It's always hard to, because I don't want to have wind against the microphone. But give me 1 second, guys. I will cool this camera down for a bit. And on the meantime, I'll keep answering questions. I have a question for you guys. Actually, let me know in the comment section right now while I cool this thing down. How many people are going to buy stuff on Prime Day, on Tuesday and Wednesday? All these things are coming out. Let me know in the comment section. Do you plan on buying stuff for Prime Day? Let me go through it. I missed a clock. Overlay. Let's see. By the way, your Check Out the House video, we get resurgence of I'll Be Your Hero song. Yeah. Well, actually, that was in the projector. Was it also in the Check Out the House song? I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll Be Your Hero is back at it again. It's still, you know, really something. It's just age sex location for the young kids. Thank you for explaining that. Yeah. I miss AIM days. Met a lot of friends that way. And you too can be a smooth operator, like 50 First Date Questions. Yes, if you haven't heard about 50 First Date Questions, it is a game that I created. It is a simple and fun game that basically you just immediately play asking your significant other for the evening a question. They ask you a question, and you keep going. It's really fun, and I think a lot of people have had a lot of fun with it. It is still on Android and iOS, although iOS might get pulled because I haven't updated in so long. So we'll see how that goes. But very simple, very easy, and a lot of fun. 50 First Date Questions, links in the description down below. All right. Whoa, a whole bunch of questions just loaded. Let's see. That was called a professional mod. Are new watches rumored to be better? We are expected to get bigger batteries. So yes, at least at that aspect, we are going to get a bigger battery for the new watches. So yeah, in that aspect, it is going to be better. But that is the one thing that I know about for sure. Okay. Getting this all back. I am starting up the camera again. And we should be getting that. I think I'm not going to put the monitor all the way back into, because I think that is adding to the overheating. But hey, I'm back. Radio is kind of podcast now, and even then it's rare to find good ones. Yeah, I mean, and it just depends on like I don't know. It really did happen to me where like, oh, like, you know, the music you liked as a kid is what you'll always love, and then as you get older you don't like. It really is true. Like, I don't like much of the music that comes out now. I don't find it as good. So I totally end up having that for sure. Overheat time. Drink it solid. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the camera overheated. It's the EV10 from Sony. It hadn't done that before the move. But I don't know if maybe the monitor that I have now, the monitor that I have is very hot. So maybe that's it. That it's like it's getting really hot, so it's creating a lot of heat going forward. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I think I have to have like another fan here, possibly on the monitor or blowing that, but just be careful not to over do it so that the mic doesn't get so much. Let's see. I may buy something small. Definitely buying something. How did your camera overheat? Basically, some Sonys do tend to overheat, and it's funny because I have known people that when they do live stream and they have like an A6000 series camera from Sony, they'll literally have a little fan attached right to the back of it, so it does it. But I think that's what it is now. I think it's the monitor that's overheating it. So the monitor's pushing out hot air right onto the camera, because like the camera is right here and the monitor is right here. Like they're right next to each other, so it's very close. So yeah, I will not start the fire. It's all right. Yep. Also, do you see the clock on the overlay? He talks about the news. Yes, you do see the clock on the news overlay, so that's true. All right, guys, but I think we will call that a show. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. I will hopefully not overheat next week. It lasted a lot longer than the previous week. The previous week it like overheated right in the beginning. So I am happy with that. And again, we'll have a lot more videos. And by the way, for those of you, everyone commenting on my background, this is not done. It's getting closer. It's closer now than it was last week, but there's still some things that I will hopefully change before next Mobile Weekly. All right, guys, thank you guys so much as always for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure before you head out, hit that like, thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot. And check out our latest two videos, the smart home video as well as the projector video. Pretty cool products that I would definitely recommend. Thank you guys always so much for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.